Hey, welcome in. I'm here with John Stiles. John Stiles, a man of many hats. John with Cottleville Caddyshack. John is an alderman. John is a mortgage lender. And John is a drinker of Good News beer.
We love Dan Tripp.
We decided to bring some beer on set today.
Yeah.
Liven it up a little bit.
Cheers.
Cheers. So you are a man of many hats. You have been a loan officer. You are a loan officer currently. You started the Cottleville Caddyshack. I want to work back to that. You're an alderman. Yeah, that doesn't seem like you don't want to talk about that too much.
No.
We were talking off mic a little bit about your career, your journey after college, and you served as well.
Right.
Which, thank you, by the way. Tell me about your journey. I want to hear some of the weird jobs you've had, because I've got some stories too, and I want to hear maybe about the shortest time you've spent on a job, jobs that maybe you tried out that wouldn't work. Yeah. Take me through that a little bit.
Oh man, it's kind of funny. So I went into service right out of high school, like a month later. And it was funny because I was a little guy, 125 pounds. And my buddies, we had a bonfire the night before I left. And they said, we'll see you back here in 2 weeks.
They didn't think you were going to make it through basic.
To me, that's kind of a dare.
Yeah.
You know, so if you dare me, I'm probably going to do it.
Okay.
Anyway, I came back after 4 years, spent a year in Korea, spent 2.5 with the 82nd Airborne Division, did jump out of airplanes. It was pretty cool. And when I got out, I was just going to take it easy for a minute.
Sure.
It didn't last me 4 days, and I was out looking for a job. I just had to be busy. So you were just saying, you know, the shortest job?
Yeah.
It was Dick's Sporting Goods, the little one over on Lockwood.
Okay.
Yeah.
The same chain, or?
I don't know if it's the same chain or not. But I sat there with another guy, and we played cards all day long. And if somebody came in, we just kept them busy until the owner could go talk to him. And I got bored pretty quick with that.
How long did that last?
3 weeks.
3 weeks. Is that the shortest?
That's the shortest.
My shortest is, no joke, 1 day.
Whoa.
I worked a job for 1 day.
What'd you do?
It's a company called True Green.
Yeah.
They do like lawn services and stuff, and they're a great, True Green's a great company. If you want to come do my lawn, come on, do the lawn, you know, great company. But they paired me up with this guy, and he was less than honest in his sales tactics.
Oh.
And it was just super bizarre. He was at the door trying to sell services and talking about his family and talking about his kids, and he didn't have a family and he didn't have kids. And I was like, I like sales, but I like to just be myself, and not, you know, it was just kind of a bizarre thing. So yeah, I quit that evening.
Interesting.
It was,
Yeah.
it was interesting. So I haven't found anyone that's beat that as far as 1 day.
Well, that's pretty impressive, actually.
Is it impressive or is it sad?
Well, it's impressive because you stuck to your guns, your principles. I mean, there's definitely something that tells you, you know, you either have a physical
weird
feeling or there's just something about it. Yeah.
Weird situation. So
If it's
3
not
weeks.
right, yeah.
What are other crazy jobs you've had? Things you've
Well, I
done?
don't know about crazy, but from Dick's, I went to Waymiller Jewelers, which is no longer in business.
Okay.
And learned jewelry for about a year. And then I made friends with the girl who worked at Fannie Mae. I was in the mall down there in South County. I made friends with Trish Moika was her name.
Okay.
And I don't think she's the same lady that's on TV, though. You know,
I'm not familiar
the
with
news
her.
person.
Oh, no. Okay.
But yeah, I met her. We got to talk, and she said her father ran the valet down at the Adams Mark Hotel. So I went and met with him, and I jumped on there, and I was
Started parking cars?
Parking cars, yeah, downtown.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I did that for, I don't know, about a year.
Okay.
And then I heard the Ritz-Carlton was opening, and I was like, I got to take a crack at this, you know?
If I can park cars here, I can park cars there.
Exactly, yeah.
Was there a difference in, like, what?
Well, there was a big difference. One, the Ritz-Carlton actually has enough parking.
Okay.
You know, you can have a 2,500 person event, and the garage can handle it. You can't do that at the Adams Mark. He had a 900 room hotel with 300 parking spaces underneath.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So yeah, I went there as a doorman, believe it or not.
Okay.
I wore a top hat, white gloves, and a blue jacket with
Do you have any
black
pictures
slacks.
from this era?
Doubtful.
Okay. Yeah.
Doubtful.
I bet you do. You just don't want to give them out. Now, where are we talking here?
Clayton.
What era? What year?
This was, well, I opened that hotel with them. I worked opening day. It was March 19th, 1990.
Okay.
Yeah. And I worked there for 5 years.
10 years after Airplane came out.
We were just talking about that.
I figured I had to work in Airplane somewhere. I don't know.
Absolutely. Oh, my God. Give
Okay,
me
so-
ham on 5 and hold that mail, will you?
So you're parking car. What was your, when you go in the services, you have like a specialty or an area?
Yes.
Did that not translate, or did you not want to do that in civilian life?
No,
what
I
was
really
it?
didn't. Well, I was a aircraft refueler.
Okay.
Yeah.
You didn't want to take a job at, I mean, there's lots of companies like that at the airport, stuff like that. Not for you?
Not really.
Okay.
No, I think the whole thing with me, ultimately, I found that sales was the way to go. You know,
Yeah.
I wound up in car sales after the hotel. I went to car sales. I was in car sales for about 10 years. At the end of my tenure, the last 4 years of my tenure in car sales, I was general sales manager with Lufuse Ford under Gary Romeo. And I know he's still around, but I doubt he's listening.
Yeah, I don't know.
What
Probably.
a good guy. Just a super good guy. But yeah, 10 years in the car business. And then my kids were getting to a point where they were getting into sports, and I'm working, you know, bell to bell
Yeah.
and Saturdays. So I wanted to be the dad who could be there, maybe coach a little bit. And I took a job in pharmaceutical sales, actually took a pay cut to go there.
You took a pay cut to go to.
Took a pay
Wow.
cut.
I think generally people think of that as like a high earning thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know enough. I didn't know enough.
Yeah.
All I knew is that I needed more flexibility in my
Yeah.
schedule.
Isn't that funny with I'm a sales guy too, and it's just funny how much we bounce around. But when you find that fit, and when you find kind of what you're good at, and that's why I work those jobs for one day. You know, I'm trying to find myself. This is after college. I'm trying to find myself and figure out what I'm good at. I have a degree in broadcast journalism. Not, you know, I like doing this, but I could never figure out a way to make money at it and be stable and support a family. But yeah, it's just funny how that sales always finds you when you have that. I don't know, was your dad in sales, or does that run in your family?
It's a funny story. My dad worked for Ludwig Aeolian down in South County Mall. He was the guy that would
I don't
push.
know what that is. What is that?
It's an organ piano shop,
Okay.
right? And I guess they were a big name back then. But my dad was the guy that would push the organ out into the middle of the, what do you call it, the aisle in the
Okay.
mall.
Yeah.
And he would rock the house.
He would play.
He's in his polyester suit, and he's out there playing. He's got the drums going. He's just rocking the house.
Okay.
You know? Yeah.
So not in sales. He
was a sales guy.
Oh, he was too. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So isn't that funny? Because my dad was too.
Yeah.
And never was at one place for too long. You know, I'm not like 30 years. He was at places for 5-6 years.
Yeah.
It's just funny how that works out, because
We're always looking for that next thing. You
Yeah.
know, it's kind of like that. You know, it's
Yeah.
hard to sit still. I'm a big ADHD guy. You know,
Sure.
my brain just doesn't sit.
Yeah.
You know.
Speaking of that, let's pause.
'Kay.
Let's go to a commercial real quick about 90s night. We'll come back and talk about that.
There you go.
This just in, the 90s are back. Come relive the raddest decade with your friends at Local 636, Cozy Shop, and the Foundry Art Center. We're all coming together to bring you a 90s party. On January 21st, we are going to party at the Foundry Art Center from 5 to 11. This party is going to have everything. You're going to want to make sure to dust off those Doc Martens, break out your finest flannel shirt, make sure the batteries are fresh in the Walkman, because we're going to have fun. We are turning the bottom floor of the Foundry into half of a skating rink. We'll have skate rental available, or you can lace up your old skates and bring those with you. But we will have skate rental available. All kinds of interactive art. We're going to have a dance floor, a DJ. The party is going to be emceed by none other than Joel Colby of Inimical Drive, St. Charles Band. We're going to have 90s movies playing. We've got a 90s cover band called the Lone Rangers, who they're awesome. We're going to link all this stuff. Food and 90s themed food and beverages for sale at the event. We're going to have a ton of interactive art, like splatter paint your own shirt. May end up with something like this. DIY slap bracelets, DIY friendship bracelets, and a ton more. This is going to be like the 90s threw up at the Foundry Art Center, and we want you there. It's going to be a blast. We've got some sponsors for this event, so thanks to Crown Exteriors, thanks to Trudy Pagano Realtor, Court Schneider Realtor, the Cottleville Caddyshack, Let's Groove Studio, Rise Realty, Promotions Pronto, Farmers Insurance, The Acres Agency, Community Living, La Belle Vie, Mike Elam, Midwest Bank Center, Court Schneider. If I didn't say him already, you get an extra plug if I didn't, and Jeff Loggy Homes. Thank you guys to our sponsors for bringing this free event. We do want you to go online and register for it. There's a Facebook event. There's also Eventbrite. The tickets are free, but we want you to go ahead and get tickets. Tell us if you're skating, just so we know how many people can be there. We also have a brand new t-shirt design for this event that when you go to the Eventbrite link, you will be able to purchase that. There you go. So a little local 636 t-shirt with a 90s vibe. You'll be able to pre-order that when you get your tickets. We will also have them for sale at the event. January 21st, 5 o'clock at the Foundry Art Center. Can't wait to see you guys there. All right, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that little commercial. We're sitting actually with one of the sponsors of 90s Night, John Stiles, with Cottleville Caddyshack. We were talking about ADD, ADHD, and I think I see a lot of similarities between us. And we don't know each other that well,
Right.
But I think I see a lot with salesperson, right? Mortgage insurance, so kind of the same world there. But then we have these side projects that we've started that we're doing for fun, but also like because it's a thing that we want to do and a thing that we need to focus energy and attention on. So that brings us to the Cottleville Caddyshack. When did this start? When did the idea start?
Well, I guess being an alderman in Cottleville, I kind of saw where things were and how things were happening.
In tune to people using the golf carts and
properties that are being sold and such.
Yeah.
And I couldn't figure out how to actually purchase that property. But then I heard a buddy of mine had bought it with his business partner. And I asked him if they were going to lease the space. And they said, oh, yeah. All they wanted was the last 2 bays for some storage. That left 5,400 square feet.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. So at that point, when he said it's cool, I started putting a business plan together. I started that in October and
October of
21.
Okay.
Yep. And
I didn't realize it was that new. We're just coming up on a year.
We didn't open until July officially.
Okay.
Yeah. But mid-March, myself and my business partner, Brian Meyer, that's when we formed our alliance.
I like that word, alliance.
But the vision for this place isn't just to be a golf cart shop. If you've been in there, you'll see that it's actually built out. Like I've got a 48-inch high, call it a bar, but it's not a bar.
Okay.
It's just a shelving type of place with stools up against it so that people can come by. They can shoot the bull with us. Mm-hmm. They're looking right at the service department so they can ask the mechanic questions, whatever. Yeah. But we also want to do some events. This Saturday, we're doing one for children ages 6 through 13 because I think they could probably pay attention.
Yeah,
but
we'll see.
We're going to get the saws all out. It's called Tool Talk.
Okay.
From 8:15 a.m. to 8:45 a.m. right before we open. I'm going to bring some donuts in, and we'll just see what happens. You know, we might light some fires or whatever.
Yikes. You mentioned before we were rolling community. Yeah. And then you mentioned the bar stools and stuff, and that seems like it's a big theme of what you do. And you mentioned, and I hadn't thought about this, but it makes perfect sense that the golf cart thing is really a community thing.
It is, yeah.
And even where I live in downtown St. Charles, and I think you're on the page, but there's like a Facebook page called Golf Car Community or something. But It's like you find these little subsets of people that all have this thing in common. In this case, they all have a golf cart, and these people have come together and they do parades and they do golf cart poker runs and they do all this stuff. And that's what it is, right? I mean, it's
and like Holly came to our grand opening.
Oh, did she really?
Yeah, she runs that page.
Yeah,
and that whole group. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she came to our grand opening. I invited her.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's kind of like the Jeep thing, right? Like when you see a person in a golf cart, you kind of give them a little wave.
Motorcycles do the same thing.
Same thing. Yeah. It's just this subculture of people that have this thing. So, and you just bought a golf cart. So you were
the business just bought one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't personally have a golf cart. I can drive any of the 30 we have at the shop.
Now, is there a big difference? Do you prefer gas or electric? I know that's a big deal when people start talking about buying golf carts.
Yeah. Well, some people want to hear it. You know, the electric is pretty well taken over. By the way, we have electric bikes now too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we just got into that. But yeah, the electric is kind of taken off. There's a lot of lithium talk and things like that, and we do offer all of that stuff.
Are there are there pros and cons to gas and electric? I mean,
I think it's personal preference.
Okay.
Yeah, I really do. You know, batteries, you just have to make sure if you've got several batteries and they're maintained with distilled water, you just have to check those, you know, once a month, once every other month, something like that. Otherwise, they won't hold the charge.
That's for an electric one.
That's electric.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I mean, you want to do it on yours too. Ed's had his golf cart at our shop twice.
I was gonna say, I mean, you know me. I'm not a car person.
Right.
I know how to start one. I know how to put gas in it. I know how to drive it.
Yeah.
That's about it. I can wash it. I can wash a car. Good car washer. Good car washer.
Good.
Yeah.
That's good.
But maintenance, no dice. And so I was driving to work one day in my golf cart, which is I feel very special to be able to do that. It's a very nice thing to be able to do.
For sure.
And I called you, and I think I said, well, I think this is the problem. And you're like, it was the belt. I was like, I think it's the belt. And you're like, well, how do you know? And I was like, well, I'm holding the belt in my hand. So I think that's what it is. But you guys were awesome. I mean, you came out, you picked it up, you did all the things, you pressed all the buttons, even upgraded some stuff on it.
Yeah.
So you guys do more than service.
Oh, yeah.
You do more than sales.
Yep.
You do customization.
We do customization.
Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. Well, right now we're on 3 projects. We've got a 6-passenger that's been painted by Mad Graphics. That's my business partner's son owns Mad Graphics out there in Lake St. Louis. He put a pearl metallic coat on that thing. That's a 6-passenger. We're going to probably rent that to the wedding venues and such.
Oh, yeah.
But I picked one up on Monday that we've already got torn down, and the body's at paint, and we are putting a 1969 Pontiac Trans Am color on that. And I believe it's Atlantic blue.
That sounds beautiful.
Something like that. But it's like it's gorgeous, metallic and everything. So that one's going to come back looking super nice. We're putting custom seats on these things. If you want a 36-inch or a 24-inch bazooka sound bar, we found that the sound quality on that thing is amazing.
Bazooka sound bar.
It's a bazooka sound bar, yeah. It's got 8 speakers in the thing. It's got subwoofers up there. And guess what? It's got about 42 different ways that it can light up.
Ah, okay.
Front and back.
This is for the look at me golf cart guy.
It's just the fun. Golf carts are fun.
So do you, like as far as being close to these venues down here, what kind of service are you, you mentioned like offering service for the wedding venues. Like what will you do for them?
Well, actually a couple of them have approached us to find out if we are going to do some rentals, which we are.
Okay.
They want to put it in their package that they can offer somebody, you know. So if, let's say Messina has a wedding coming and they want to come in on Friday night and hang around town or something, they rent the cart for the weekend.
They can go out, drive around in Cottleville.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Same thing with the Airbnbs or the new hotel that's coming in on Oak Street, the public schoolhouse, you know, anybody that wants to rent a golf cart for an event or a weekend, we're going to try and accommodate some of that.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. That's fun. So, and then you do sales.
We do. Yeah.
That has really, I don't know if the pandemic was a coincidence. That I know the pandemic was a coincidence. I'm not trying to start that, but if the golf cart sales, it seemed like the availability of like recreational vehicles, a lot of outdoor stuff, right? Like kayaks and stuff like that, even dogs, all that kind of stuff was like, oh, now we're on a 8-week wait for these things. Was that because of the pandemic? People just wanting to have something to do, or what? I mean, what was that?
I think that's a big part of it.
Okay.
I bought a bike.
Okay.
I bought another kayak.
Okay.
And we got a dog
and
that first week.
The trifecta.
That first week.
The COVID trifecta.
Yeah. The dog place down here, the APC or whatever it is.
Yeah.
yeah, they were trying to find homes for their dogs that they were fostering. They had to get them all out of there. We took the last dog they had.
The last dog, okay.
Yeah, guess what? That dog fights bobcats and loses really bad.
Wait, what do you mean loses?
This dog, it'll kill everything.
Except a bobcat.
Except a bobcat. I think the bobcat did a little, oh, you want some of this? How about a little spippity spat?
All right, so but the sale and stuff of golf carts went through the roof when that hit. Now, what's your stock like? Can someone walk in and buy a golf cart? Is it still a wait?
Yeah, we've got over 20 new golf carts in stock right now. It's the advanced EV model. That's the brand.
Okay.
We've got the Advent model and an EV1 model. You can get lithium, you can get 6-passenger, you can get 4-passenger where the benches are all facing forward. So,
I like that.
Yeah,
because mine go backwards, right? I've got the old school converted golf cart.
Right. And if we sped your cart up, your little girls could go flying off the back of that thing,
Yeah,
right?
we got seatbelts on there, but
attaboy.
now what's the price range? Because that has really increased as well over the last couple of years.
Yeah. And the unique thing is we felt this was a great opportunity to bring a new name brand here. This company is in 23 states already. It's all built on an E-Z-Go frame, so there's already a proven foundation there. But E-Z-Go, Yamaha, Club Car, those are the big players, and they're great quality carts.
Yeah.
The problem is everything that they had coming in, or most everything, is already spoken for. So it's going to be a while, my understanding. They may have some straggler stuff that people can go in and buy.
Yeah.
But we thought that was a great opportunity to bring in a new brand. And it's paid off. People are embracing this brand.
People are coming in and buying new carts.
They are, yeah. So you said the price range. So the price range, I tell people you could probably start at about $9,000 or $10,000 and make it whatever you want.
No limit.
It's really what it boils down to. This is not a need.
Sure.
This is one of their toys.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a toy, and you can get it how you want, right? You can customize it, and
Yep. And that's what we love about it. So we hired this guy, Jim Higgins. He was a Lufuse mechanic for 11 years. He's a Fiat guy. And for whatever reason, he came available. And I called him, and I was like, hey, man, you want to work on some golf carts? And he's like, I don't know anything about golf carts. I said, well, come in and take a look at these things. He took a look at them, everything. He's like, there's not really a whole lot to these things. I said, that's right.
It seems very simple.
What he didn't realize, and I didn't realize even at the time, every single one of these that comes in is a puzzle. And it's a different puzzle every single time.
Yeah, because there's probably no standard, and there's no every manufacturer makes them different.
Well, you got your do-it-yourselfers.
Ah, okay. Okay.
We like them.
Okay, so you open that up, and it's like, oh, this guy did.
Man. We just had one in. A guy bought a cart, thought he got a deal, brought it to us because the speakers weren't working. The stereo wasn't working. Jimmy got behind the dashboard, and it was like a rat's nest of wires.
Oh, yeah.
Wires. And the guy he bought it from said, the stereo works, it just needs to be plugged in. You know, the speaker wires need to be plugged in. Well, Jimmy got into speaker wires. He opened up underneath the seat. It was the same thing in there. It's like wires everywhere. He's like, John, we got to start at like 3 hours here just to figure out what all this stuff is.
Yeah.
So we like the puzzles.
But you like that. You mentioned that with mortgages.
I like them.
Having a problem, being able to figure it out.
Yeah.
Do you look at the business that way too? Like, because this is it's not a new idea. I mean, golf carts have been around forever, but the business of what you do is definitely newer. Do you look at the business that way too? Of like, here's these problems I have. You know, I got to do marketing. I got to pay rent. I've got to get clients. I've got to pay staff. Like, is that a puzzle to you too?
It is. Yeah. As much networking as I know you do, and I do, you have to figure out how can you be different. Mm-hmm. First of all, our location is amazing.
Yeah, it really is.
We are right here in the heart of Cottleville. Mm-hmm. It's actually the old St. Charles Ambulance District maintenance facility, so it was already set for us, you know. So that's number one. But number two is you go into the community thing. We want to be a destination. We want to be you're coming over from Canals Road or what have you, and you happen to be passing by. Well, if our gate's open, come up and say, hey, come in and shoot the breeze. See what we got going on, you know?
Yeah.
We've talked to everybody.
Yeah.
I can't get enough of talking. It's like a good break because I'm on the computer most of the day.
Sure.
You know?
It is nice to do something outside of, I mean, we kind of hit on that, outside of like staring at the computer, looking at numbers. There's definitely a challenge there. And I would assume main source of income, you know, these things are passion hobbies until they kind of get going. But yeah, that's the way I look at it, is it's just a new puzzle to solve. It's a different puzzle.
Yeah.
Like different pieces and different, yeah.
Yeah, so what's on the docket for Local 636?
Are we flipping the tables here?
Absolutely,
you're interviewing
man.
me?
Have you ever gone to an interview, a job interview, and just sat there waiting for the questions to be fired at you?
I'm sure.
Everybody does, right?
Yeah.
Well, I challenged them to turn that table. You know, I once went to an interview, and I went across the table, and I sat at the seat next to the guy who was interviewing me. He says, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Well, I don't really want any barriers between us."
Did you get that job?
Yeah. It's outside the box. You
Sure.
know? And it's like, you're trying to find out if I fit you. I'm trying to find out if you fit me.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So what's wrong with a didactic conversation?
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it's just unconventional, which I like. You know, I mean, that's good. That's a good thing.
Some people like it. Some people don't.
And you'll find out real quick if they don't, right?
Exactly.
What's going on with us? Man, a lot. I mean, we kind of hit on the 90s party.
Yeah.
That's kind of our next big push. We just want to have fun, man. I mean, I love farmers. I love insurance, but it's, you know, I'm sure you would agree, like, it's not always fun.
Right.
You know? So I started this to be able to do.
You obviously have a passion for St. Charles County.
Yeah.
You know, so, I mean, that's what I see when I see Local 636. I think, you know, that's a passion for St. Charles County, even though there's some over on the other side of that river.
Sure. Yeah. But I mean, it's all about St. Charles County, and it's all about kind of exposing the great people, places, and things here, and celebrating that. And, the 90s night is our next big thing. It's going to be what? You ready for
One of the great places.
A great place. We need we need Frenchtown on here. I don't know if these are old labels or how long you've had this, but
so Dan gave us this for our grand opening. He gave us a case.
Okay.
And I forgot to put it out with the Lucky Arrow who was there.
Oh,
They were serving the liquor. I forgot to put it out there, so it's been in our fridge, and we've just been chipping away at it. So thank you, Dan.
You know, Dan's great. I mean, we have the beer with Good News. We have our Local 636 Hazy IPA, and people nonstop. It's almost the first question, like, how does that work for you? What do you get paid? How much do you make? We make nothing from that. We don't make anything, and I'm happy to say that because it gets our brand out there. People buy the crap out of that beer, and we've got an amazing label and can, and it's propelled our brand so much that I think if you said, would you rather be financially compensated or would you rather have the awareness? I'd take the awareness because it would far outweigh any kind of financial compensation from selling kegs. And I don't know how much you know about this, but you know, a keg of beer that Dan sells to someone through the distributor, he's not making a ton of money on it anyway, right? The same thing with cans.
Yeah.
So it's been monumental in getting our brand out there and getting exposure and stuff. So we've been super happy to do it. I'm not sure what started that. My ADHD is kicking in now.
No, I asked you a question.
Yeah, but I forget what the question was or where we were even.
It was just about your passion for St. Charles County and getting into Local 636.
That's it, man.
On there?
That's it. We want to celebrate the great things here. Good News, obviously, one of those things. Cottleville Caddyshack, one of those things. Yeah. And, you know, the biggest thing I wanted to do was do stuff that was different. There's a lot of stuff that happens that it's like just a repeat of what this person's doing. Cottleville Caddyshack, totally different, totally new business, right? And this is just with the time, but we're having a 90s party. Mm-hmm. It seems like for so long everyone was doing 80s night, and like, that's fun.
What's wrong with the 80s?
There's nothing wrong with the 80s. But I was born in 81, right?
I had a mighty mullet back then, man.
I bet you did. I was born in 81.
Yeah.
1 year after Airplane came out.
Mm-hmm.
So I grew up in the 80s, I guess, but I mean, I really grew up in the 90s. Right? I mean, that's when I was 10 to 20.
Yeah.
Is when I grew up there. And so that's what we want to celebrate. We want to do different stuff that no one's doing.
So we should partner up on some events. We're going to do a drag race this next year.
You're going to do a drag race?
Golf
Where's
cart
that?
drag race.
Okay. I was in a drag race. Now, this is before you touched it, but I lost in my golf cart drag race.
Well, we're not going to do a straightaway drag race.
Okay.
It's going to be
Formula One?
It's going to be like a drag race to a point, and you've got to do something there. Like you got to get out of your cart and do something.
Okay.
That way, nobody can just soup up their cart and,
Gotcha.
you actually have to accomplish something. It breaks up the routine. Now you can buzz to the next one once you accomplish it.
Yeah.
But in all the people who have come through our shop, I bet there's 4 or 5 who swear they have the slowest golf cart in Cottleville. Gave me an idea.
Okay.
At a drag race. Now, that would be a straightaway. If you put that pedal all the way to the metal, can you lose to every single person out here?
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going to have
You got to have pedal to the metal, though.
Slowest.
Yeah, you can't be intentionally slow.
We'll ride with them.
You have to be trying to go fast.
We'll ride with them, yeah.
And maybe one of the prizes can be like an upgrade, like soup it up a little bit or something,
I
right?
thought the prize would be, what is it, a snail sitting on a golf cart.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like a snail statue?
Just a trophy. Yeah.
I love it, man.
Yeah, you get the snail trophy.
I love it. Tell me what else you have going on. I know we've got the tool time coming up. What else have you got going on?
So I had the Cottleville police come in, Sergeant Dave McEwen, and I'm going to work with O'Fallon through him. But I'd like to have the police presence because we want to do a once-a-month clinic talking about ordinances, safety, cart etiquette on the trails, that kind of thing, just to build awareness because we've just seen it going on too much where the pedestrians have to jump to the side because the dummy on the golf cart decides he just wants to go on fast, or she.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But, so we're going to do those clinics, but we want the cops not to be like a threatening thing, but just to give their point of view on the whole thing. What are you seeing? What do you look for? It's basically if you're behaving, they're never even going to pay attention to you. Act like an idiot, well, you kind of deserve what you get.
I've had my golf cart for the better part of, I'd say 5 or 6 years, never been given a second look as far as like police. And I drive it from my house to Main Street through Frenchtown. I've had open containers on there before. I probably shouldn't say that, but never get so
sodas
much as a look. Sodas, open sodas. I think it's just kind of like in life, right? Like if you're being cool, no one's really going to mess with you. Yeah. If you're being an a-hole, somebody might say something,
right?
So don't be an a-hole on your golf cart.
Right.
Give us a plug, socials, anything you got going on if you want to look directly into your camera there.
Yeah. So again, Saturday morning, 8:15 to 8:45, we're doing tool talk with some kids, 6 to 13. Everyone's welcome. You do not have to own a golf cart in order to attend. Come on out, have a donut, kind of see what we're all about. Okay. That's one. Next year, you're going to look for a golf cart drag race. We're going to look for a golf cart scavenger hunt. We are going to do a poker run. And anything else that we can come up with. I actually want to get a tram.
Like a hooking golf carts together?
Tram. No.
Oh, okay.
A real tram.
Okay.
There is so much history here in Cottleville. I'm talking back in the Civil War days. There's so much history here, and I just think maybe at some point there should be some tours going on.
Okay.
Then we stop into the local watering holes as we go.
I dig it.
How about it?
How about your socials? Do you know your social handles? You got those?
Well, you can find us on Facebook at just look up the Cottleville Caddyshack. You're going to find us. On our website is caddyshack-cottleville.com, but the Google search, if you put in the Caddyshack, it's going to pull us right up.
Google search is where it's at.
Absolutely.
Man, thanks so much for joining me. I
appreciate
it.
Ed.
Thank you, brother.
Very good.